Hey y'all, hey and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica Lauren, and right now you are on the Sunday Jumpstart podcast. It's where we help go-getters ditch the excuses, do the work, and make ish happen. So if you are into productivity, mindset, if you got big goals and just need some help trying to figure out how to prioritize it, how to get your mind right, how to get over your fear and your intrusive thoughts, then you are in the right spot. So what are we talking about today? Well, today I am sharing some very teeny tiny micro habits that have helped change my life, my mindset, that help change my day. If my day is going left, if I've been like super anxious, these are the things that I do to help me get grounded and get back focused and present and get over that hump when it's just like things are going way too left. I can't focus. This is what I do to help me get back centered and aligned with my intentions. So in March, we moved. And moving, I don't know if you've done it in a minute, but it really does rattle up your life, right? It just changes everything because there's a level of uncertainty that comes with moving. I have a toddler, so I'm like, oh my gosh, if we move, is he going to adapt to the change well? Are we going to have nice neighbors? Just like, it's just so many uncertainties. Are we going to find the right spot? Are we going to have a good community, a good village? Is there a playground around? Just all the things, right? And so March, I was living that anxious, irritable, irritated, scared life. It's a new day. We done settled into our new home. My office still ain't decorated, but that's neither here nor there. Judge your mama. But I've been super intentional this month not to let anxiety kick my ass like it normally does. You know, when you think about how you're going to change your life, you think that it has to be these big, drastic, overnight changes. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's not true. I don't know if you've read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and he says it literally takes those micro habits that'll help change your life. Literally, if you're like, I want to get to the gym, but I just don't feel motivated, I don't feel compelled to go, he's like, just step your foot in the door. You don't even got to exercise, just go. And you're like, what would that do? Like, that seems so asinine and so trivial, but what winds up happening, if you get into the habit of just going, then you might be like, well, let me take my water bottle. After you walk through the door and take your water bottle, then you're like, let me put on my gym clothes. Then after that, you're like, let me get on the treadmill. Then after that, you're like, let me come up with a routine. So that's the idea, is that success, I forget who says this, I think it's Robert Blake. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. So here are the things that I do to help me do just that. Okay, so number one, as a mom, the one thing I do is wake up earlier than everybody else in the house. I used to kind of just wake up as everybody else did when I became a mom, and that's not fun for me. I just felt disoriented, like I didn't have any time for myself. I just felt kind of like bulldozed into my day, like I gotta get on, where I wouldn't have time to eat, wouldn't have time to shower. And it's like that. My son will be 2 in a couple months. So of course, during the newborn phase and all of that, there's going to be a level of that. And so what I do, and I would just be like an anxious mess. So I was like, why don't you just wake up earlier? And this is not for those of us that just have kids or are caregivers or whatever the case may be. It's also for just you know, like before I had kids and was in a relationship, child, I would wake up earlier before work because it was just like, I don't want my day to start off like that. So I would just get up earlier and do the things that helped me to get centered. And we'll talk about some of those in the next one. So up next, number 2, once I wake up, I make sure to get in my word through prayer, reading my devotional. Right now, I am reading Believing Bigger by Marshawn Evans. I always want to say Lynch because it's a football player, but by Marshawn Evans. And I just sit down, even if it's for 10-15 minutes, I go in a Bible app, read the verse of the day. I might have some devotional plans in there. I grab Marshawn's devotional and I just sit and be quiet with God. Pray, cry a little bit, laugh a little bit, listen to maybe a sermon, just something quick. Because what I used to do was just wake up and get to work. Like, I got stuff to do, Lord. I don't know what you're talking about. And then throughout my day, I would feel so out of touch, so misaligned. And I would look up and it'd be like 4 or 5 days done passed and I haven't talked to God at all. And this season I've been really intentional about my walk with Christ, with where I am with God, and just trying to get back centered to that and what that means for me in my life. So I've made it a habit, a micro habit. Just get up, grab your devotional, read whatever, scripture that comes with it that feels aligned, pray a little prayer, and then I keep it moving. All right, number 3, there are some mornings when I'm feeling real motivated, real, in my spiritual bag, and I'll do like a guided meditation. When I was going through therapy, my therapist, if I came to her and was just like, I'm feeling so out of sorts, I'm having these panic attacks, I'm feeling so anxious, she'd be like, so are you doing your spiritual practices? And I'm like, ugh. And for me, those practices were journaling, meditating, doing yoga, being quiet. And the answer was no. And that's why I was feeling so out of sorts. So the one thing that I do outside of those things like journaling and all that, that's been really helpful, is to do like a quick 5-minute guided meditation in the Insight Timer app. Everything that I talk about today will be linked below in the description. It's an amazing app that's free. They have free guided meditations that cover a gambit of things. It could be like social media cleanses, it could be anxious thoughts. There's a lot of affirmations on there. And I know that meditation could seem woo-woo or hokey, but it's simply just sitting down, being quiet, connecting with your breath, breathing deep belly breaths, slowing down, getting that heart rate down. And you might have someone just offering affirmations to you. That works wonders. It always gets me like back energized and focused and centered when I'm feeling out of sorts, when I'm feeling just like I don't know what's going on, I'm anxious, or when my mind is just battering me with negative thoughts. I just go to a guided meditation, one that really speaks to where I am in that moment, and I just let it rip. I just sit down for 5 minutes, and you can do it by lengths. They have some that's 2 hours long that'll play all night. You could go and toggle it so that it's only 5 minutes, 3 minutes. There's some that are 1 minute, but it's just that one space in time where I'm like, anything else in this world can go on, but right now in this moment, I'm going to stop, breathe, and just get centered for a second. Okay, so like I said in the beginning, I love micro habits. They really are small little things you can do to help boost your mood, right? But there have been a few times in my life where I needed a little bit more than a micro habit, where I needed some professional support. And that's why I'm so grateful for today's sponsor, BetterHelp. So when I first gave birth to my son back in 2022, it was the summertime, baby. We was outside as soon as I had that C-section, going on walks, hanging out with friends, trips to the store. Like, it was just good. But then, baby, that Chicago winter hit, where it got dark at 3 o'clock, where it was too cold to go places because I didn't want him to get sick. We were kind of stuck in the house. And then that's when things started to go a little bit left. I started getting super anxious. I was weeping out of the blue for no reason. I was lethargic. I had so much brain fog. It's like I could not think straight. I couldn't formulate my thoughts. And the thoughts that I did have were all pretty negative. Like, you're not doing enough. You're not a good mom. Like, I was really, really struggling. Normally, I could do the things that I mentioned in today's video. Like, okay, let me, chill out and be quiet, less social media, let me drink more water, less caffeine. But I knew that something wasn't right, because no matter what I tried, I still felt really hopeless. And so that's when I just womaned up and reached out to my therapist. And I'm so grateful that I did, because we were able to identify that it wasn't just normal anxiety that I was dealing with, or just a generalized situation. I was actually struggling with postpartum depression. And that really struck me because my son at the time, he was like 8 or 9 months old. I thought I was in the clear, baby. Like, I thought postpartum only happened as soon as you had a baby. Well, you learn something new every day. It hit me months later. And so for a few months, my therapist and I worked on just untangling some of those intrusive negative thoughts. She helped me learn about some coping techniques that would help me stay grounded and get centered and just release myself from all that negativity. And it took some work. I'm not gonna hold you up, but after a few months of working with her, I can report that I'm no longer struggling, no longer suffering. I feel whole. I feel like myself again. And I don't think I would have made that without making a decision to go get some professional help, right? And so if you are struggling or going through a season that feels a little bit heavier than anything on this list can help with, I want to share today's sponsor with you, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an incredible resource if you found yourself that you've been struggling, much like I was. If you need some more support from an unbiased licensed therapist, then you might want to check out BetterHelp. It's super easy. You just go to betterhelp.com/Sunday Jumpstart. And once you're there, you just fill out this super quick and easy questionnaire. After that, you'll be linked up, usually within 48 hours, to a licensed therapist. And once y'all are linked up, you can do video calls, phone calls, messaging, smoke signals, like whatever you need to have a session to get the help and advice that you need. The good news is that once you go to BetterHelp and you click on Sunday Jumpstart, all audience members will get 10% off your first month of therapy. So if you've been, just kind of curious about therapy or feel like it's something you need to restart, check out betterhelp.com/Sunday Jumpstart. It'll all be linked in the description. Okay, now let's get back into this list, okay? Okay, because we moved, we got some new furniture, and we got a new little bedroom set, and it is giving sexy minimalism. And because it's brand new, every morning I've been getting in the habit of making up my bed. And it seemed, just something like your grandma used to say, like, girl, make up your bed in the morning. You like, yeah, grandma, whatever, or your mama, daddy, whoever. But when my bed is made and my room is tidy and clean, I feel like you can't tell me nothing. Like I'm the baddest in the world, okay? Making up that bed, it just is one small victory that after that, I'm like, well, maybe I'll drink some water. You know what I'm saying? That after that, it's like, well, maybe I'll take my baby on a walk and get, like some exercise or whatever the case may be. But making up my bed, for whatever reason, helps me feel like I got my ish together. And when I don't make it up, you can tell. It's like when I don't do any of these micro habits, you can tell, like, Jessica, what's wrong with you? Okay, so in the morning, like all of us, I just want to grab my phone and just download the tea for the day. What happened on the Shade Room? What's going on Twitter? What's going on gossip, YouTube? I might talk to my sister on Instagram, whatever. I just always grab my phone. And 10 minutes will pass, 20, 30. And I'm like, dang, it's morning time and I ain't even had my own thoughts. I don't even know how I feel about the day. Even if it's something like that isn't scandalous, like listening to drama, I might listen to Up First. That's a podcast by NPR, and they'll just tell you the world events of the day. And sometimes that stuff is heavy. It's a lot going on. Or it could be something positive, like I just want to wake up and listen to a sermon or whatever. And lately I've been feeling my spirit just be like, can't you just wake up and give yourself a minute just to wake up, just to simmer and settle into the day? So recently when I go to bed, I just take Twitter off. I just take Instagram off so that I'm not even tempted in the morning to grab my phone. And I know that's easier said than done, especially because some people are content creators, social media managers, like it might be very much ingrained into your life. But for me, I've been really craving my own thoughts. I've been really not wanting to be so hooked up before I had water, before I kissed my man, before I hugged my child, before I had breakfast. Now I'm making it a point to like, don't touch it until you've done all the things. And these are some of those things, right? So I've lessened my social media consumption overall, but for sure, first thing in the morning, like that's a no-no in my book recently. Here's another thing that kind of goes hand in hand with that. When I, need to do the laundry, or it's time to cook breakfast, or I'm about to do my nails for whatever reason. I've been doing my own nails lately. I'm like, okay, what TV show do I want to listen to? What YouTuber do I want to watch? What podcast do I want to listen to? I am constantly entertaining myself. I am constantly consuming somebody else's voice, thought, entertainment, something. And lately, this micro habit for me has made such a big leap in my life, in my mentality, in my mental health. And it's simple. I just try to do some things quietly without background noise. If I'm doing the laundry, and this is only if I've been on social media all day. I've been, I watched 5 shows. I done binge watched a movie. I watched a movie with Kobe. I'm like, hey, for this one task, I'm going to do it quietly and without background noise. And at first you feel kind of because we're not used to being bored anymore. But it's in those boredom moments where we have aha moments, when we have those epiphanies, when we could just hear ourselves think, even if it's not, your next $1 million idea, just to be able to like laugh at a joke from earlier or be grateful for something that God has done. We don't have the space for any of that because we're constantly consuming stuff. So a micro habit that I want to share with you is just to do things quietly. One thing, pick a thing throughout the day. If it's like, listen, I have to clean up my office, and you normally put on YouTube, I invite you to turn it off and just kind of do it on a low, just with quiet. And you'll be surprised what you invite into your life. You get to invite curiosity. You get to maybe think through and process some things you've been avoiding. You get to just take a break and just reconnect with your humanity. Like, how do you feel about stuff without having me tell you or somebody else that you listen to all the time? So I try to do some things at least once a day without any background noise. Okay, I try my hardest to take my time in the shower, right? Because I'm a mom, I be having to get up and go. I'm a stay-at-home mom too. And my showers used to be, I'm in, I'm out, look, let's go. Lately, I've been like, feel the water. Luxuriate in this soap. Put on the good lotion. Spray the good perfume. I rush 90% of the time, and just taking that time to really care for my mind and my body. There's so much healing that takes place in water. There's this saying that's like, if you're anxious, cry. If you're depressed, drink some water. If I'm making this up because I'm butchering it, and I will go find it once I find it, but basically there's healing in water. You need, like, if your mind is jumbled, go take a shower. Just somehow get back to the water. So recently I've been making a point of really taking care of myself and taking my time in the shower. No more quick little 10-minute bird bath. It's been like, let me be still. And a lot of this stuff lends itself to the morning, but it can also be your unwinding down as through the day. Wash off the work day. Wash off being overstimulated. Wash off those weird conversations. Wash off those insults or the times you feel offended or you feel played. Wash all that off. Take your time in the shower. Even if you can't do it every day, Sundays is the everything shower day. And I think that's why that's so popular, because all of us are trying to go to work, trying to go to school, try to do something. You don't get to luxuriate or indulge in anything because we're trying to get to the next thing. Not anymore. Take that time in that shower. Rub that Dove in real good, rinse it off real good, do the little eucalyptus scrub, do what you got to do. And it's fun to put like eucalyptus in the shower to help it feel like you're doing something, like you in the spa, right? Take your time in the shower. I grew up eating junk food. I am a hot flaming Skittles, Sour Patch Kid, chewy type of person. I love junk food. Recently, and I've just been correlating like your diet to your mental health, your anxiety and all that lately. And it's funny because when I give my son lunch or breakfast, I'm chopping up strawberries and kiwi and blueberry and pineapple for him. But then I just have a bagel, like he'll have a bagel and all that fruit. So recently it's like every time you sit down to eat with him, you have some fruits and some vegetables. And I know that might sound so silly, but I can tell like I'm a little lighter. I'm not as crabby. I have a little bit of clarity because I'm eating something that wasn't man-made or mass-produced or made in some factory. I can sit down and have a clementine. I can sit down and have an apple. And that's just been helping me with the entire self-care, with my entire self-care journey of just trying to take better care of myself, take better care of my diet and my health. So I just try to eat just one piece of fruit with each meal, right? It's something small and minor. That's why these are called micro habits. They're not earth shattering. I'm not giving you the code to life. This is something all of us can do on the daily that will really help improve your mentals, just your day overall. Like it'll give you just like a little burst of joy and energy. All right, you've had a long day. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You done sat through 50 meetings, or you done went to 5 classes, or you done took care of your grandmother or your kids. It's time to go get some air. Like I have to tell myself, like, girl, go for a walk, especially because here in Chicago, it is warming up today. I got my arms out. If you can't see, I got on white pants, ooh, because it is like 75 degrees. So I get that stroller and me and baby boy, we go out for a walk. Today we went to this super cute small zoo in the neighboring city, and we just walked, and they had like this beautiful tulip garden. We just traipsed around there, getting that sunny D on you and just being in the sun and being in nature. For me, is a good reminder that we're still connected to this ecosystem. We are under the belief that I got to do it by myself. I'm my only help. Ain't nobody got my back like me. But when you're out in nature and you're like, dang, you know, it's a scripture that say like the birds don't worry about where they're gonna get their food. The flowers are dressed to the nines and they're not worried about what they're gonna eat, what they're gonna wear, none of that stuff. Everything is taken care of. Like where our house is situated by a pond, and you just see the ducks, they just out there basking. They don't gotta worry in the world. And you know, not to get over spiritual or all that, but I love going for walks outside because of that, especially in the spring, summers, that you get to see like, just a few months ago, something was dead. It's back to life. It is thriving, right? That's some symbolism there. When you be on your last leg, like, Lord, help me get through this season. It's just a good reminder that everything gets to begin again and begin and be new. And there are seasons when you thrive. And I just love just seeing that happen in real time when I'm taking those walks. And it's just good to reset. And just after that walk, come on in like, okay, I'm ready for part 2 of my day. Go out and go for a walk. And here's a bonus. Try to do it without listening to a podcast or with music. Just really give yourself some space to breathe and just hear your own thoughts and reconnect with yourself. It really does wonders. Okay, here's this. Like I said, nothing is earth shattering. I used to be so tired by the end of the day, we would just pass out. Like I done cooked, cleaned, I done been with kids, I done been in meetings, I done created content, I done made new inventory. By the end of the day, we would just pass out. And I wake up and the kitchen is a mess, the bathroom is a mess, just everything would be cluttered. Thank God for Clean Up TikTok, because it has inspired me to just clean the hell up. And I used to do these massive cleans over the weekend, just like, oh, it's Saturday, now I'll clean up everything. Now I'm like, nope, every night once everybody's in bed or, you know, during that, I'll just clean up. And that way I don't have to do this massive clean on Saturday, because every single day I'm cleaning up. Now, what I do on my little Apple Watch, I set a timer for 30 minutes and whatever I can get done in that 30-minute span, that's what I'm getting done. And it really does. When I wake up, I'm like, oh, look at this clean, fresh slate that I get to start with. I'm not starting off on junky terms. Like I'm just like, okay, now we can seize the day. Now I can cook in peace, and now I can, you know, read you a story, because everything is put back where it needs to be. So that's my suggestion. Again, a micro habit, nothing earth shattering. It's just to clean up as you go. Clean up before you like retire for the night. Tidy up. And it doesn't have to be a deep, super deep clean. Just straighten up your space. Pick up the clothes off the floor. Start a load of laundry. Wash up your dishes, deload the dishwasher. That way in the morning, you're not frantic, you're not stressed. You could just start from a clean slate. Speaking of starting off fresh, I love to plan for the next day the night before, just so I, know how today went, how I want to feel tomorrow. Like, okay, this did work, this didn't work, this was great, this needs to start, this needs to stop. I can write all that out for the next day. And so again, when I wake up, I'm not like, what are we doing? What's going on? What bills got to be paid? Where are we going? Who meeting up for coffee? It's just already there. And that way I can decide once, what do I have to do today? Oh, we're going to the zoo because it's already written down. Done. I don't have to be like, what activities am I going to do with my toddler? Let me go on Pinterest. Let me look for Instagram. No, all that hemming and hawing. I just sit down and plan. And that way I have some goals to try to reach for the next day, have some priorities. I just already have like a game plan and a map. I am learning at my grown age of 39 is that I need structure too. They say kids need structure. Your girl needs structure. I need just a little bit of a roadmap. And I try to be flexible because life happens. Things aren't tidy and perfect all the time. But for the most part, as long as I have a basic skeleton of what needs to be done, what needs to be met, who I need to meet with, all of that jazz, I am in such a better mood. I am less anxious and I'm ready to do the damn thing. okay, here's something that, we don't like doing, but it's something that we're really good at, and it's called single tasking. We like to multitask, right? You're like, okay, while I'm cooking, I'm also going to finish my report while doing laundry, and then I'm going to talk to my auntie, and then I'm going to FaceTime my sister. Like, we be trying to do a lot, and we think we're good at it until you realize, oh snap, this is burning. Oh shoot, I forgot to sign a permission slip. Oh dang, I forgot to pick up my mama. Lately, I've been like, if you doing this one thing, this is all we doing. Like, for instance, a lot of times I'll be like editing a YouTube video, and while that's rendering or I'm waiting on something to download, I'm like, ooh, let me hurry up and finish editing this reel, or let me hurry up and listen to this podcast, or let me call my mama back. And I'm not doing any of those things really well. So for the things that I want to prioritize and do really well and be intentional about, lately I've been like, just focus on this thing. Just single task this. And again, this has a lot to do with us always just trying to be busy and rushing and hustle. Sometimes you have to allow your brain the space to just like not do a million things, because all it does is distract you, get you cluttered, get you flustered. If you're like, tonight I am going to cook, I'm not going to try to read while I'm cooking, I ain't going to try to solve, a crossword puzzle while I'm cooking. And again, there's space for all of those things, right? I'm not saying be a robot, but if you find that you're always irritable, you're anxious, you can't think straight, your brain is always foggy, try to single task. Like, I used to be in here just typing, living my best life, but I had music going, and I had, maybe YouTube. Like, I had a lot of distractions, and it was distracting. I look up, it'd be hella errors in what I'm doing, things will be jacked up, or I forgot something. It's because I think I'm better at multitasking than I am. And there's been evidence to show that humans aren't good at it at all. In fact, as we're driving, it's so much stimuli coming at us, but our brain is like, if I focus on this, we will crash. So while you're driving, it's single tasking, focusing on red lights, oncoming traffic, just a few things. But it's not like, oh, let me, our brain is like, no. Because if you noticed, every McDonald's, every car, every this, you would just be all over the place. It would not be cute. So if we do it while we're driving, let's start picking some activities where that's all we're doing. Spending time with Kobe. When I'm with him, of course, like, he might be playing. Again, not all the time. I'm not perfect, but sometimes I'm trying to be intentional. Just spend time with him. Put your phone in another room, because they'd be like, well, I can answer email. And then I'm not really present with my son. I'm not really present with my emails. My focus isn't great, and I'm not good at multitasking anymore. So I decide once, who gets my time? My child. Let me play with him. The emails will come. I will schedule some time for that. But right now, I'm focused on this. Again, disclaimer, it's not for every single task and every opportunity. Just pick some times during the week where you could just focus on one thing. It'll help you and be more efficient at the work you do. Okay, this one is a big one because I am a coffee girly. But lately, the more I drink coffee, I'm like, is this contributing to my anxiety? Yeah, it is. That's typically how coffee goes, right? I'm not sitting here claiming that I would never drink a cup of coffee again. But lately, I've been like, if you're feeling anxious, why don't we push pause for a little bit? So I've been trying to drink way more water. In fact, this has been my emotional support water bottle lately, just because the coffee was giving me the jitters. Now what I try to do is just drink it on Fridays. Like, it's my treat. Like, I survived Fridays. Now I'm about to go to a coffee house and just bask in it, because on Fridays it's time to turn up, it's time to have fun, it's not as much stress and work and all of that jazz. So that's a micro habit. If you've been feeling like is maybe to try to drink a little less caffeine and a lot more water. Again, it helps ease some of my anxiety. It's been giving me stomach issues, and anxiety is linked to stomach issues. So if that's something that's been percolating, you're a coffee drinker like me, baby, it might be time to switch. Okay, so that's it. Super simple stuff, right? Nothing earth-shattering. It's all things that we can start implementing today. They're just teeny tiny micro habits. I hope that some of them helped you, whether it be single tasking, planning out your day the night before, going out for a walk, less coffee, more water, whatever the case may be. I hope that it's something that'll help change your life, that'll help give you peace and let the anxiety go. Y'all, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. I'm so grateful to be here and share this time with you. Let me know what micro habits you have or that you're curious of trying in the comment section. I'll be there answering and just cheering you on whichever way you choose to go. I love you guys. I'm praying for you. If you want to keep in touch, be sure to head on over to Instagram. The handle is at the Sunday Jumpstart. Check out the stationery line is at sundayjumpstartpaper.com. To listen to old episodes, you can go to thesundayjumpstart.com. It's a lot. It's all in the description. I love you guys. I'm praying for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.